A college basketball game. The sights, the sounds, the fans. Fans are an essential part of the game day experience, but November marked the 10-year anniversary of a notorious incident that brought the game into the stands. The Malice at the Palace saw several Detroit Pistons and Indiana Pacers players fight with fans after objects were thrown on the court.
I think we've seen fans begin to take for granted sort of what they're allowed to do.
But fan violence hasn't gone away in the last 10 years, and it may be more prevalent than ever. The NFL saw multiple spectator fights in Week 1 of the 2014 season, some that even left the stands splattered with blood.
Well, I know this is going to come as a shock to you, but people take sports way too seriously sometimes.
Sometimes the fistfights can lead to more dire consequences than a couple cuts and bruises. San Francisco Giants fan Brian Stowe suffered brain damage and lost the ability to walk after being attacked by two Dodgers fans in 2011. So does an incident like this make fans naturally violent?
No, it's a learned thing. We are what we've learned to be, basically, as human beings.
Many point to the media as the teacher. Mediums like ESPN, Sports Nation, or Fox Sports 1 mic'd up, hype games, and allow fans to sound off on one another. And then there's always the tweet that calls out a player, or in some cases, issues a death threat. Throw in the $10 25-cent beer, and you have a cocktail for fan violence. Over the course of any game, intensity can get pretty high. But what can fans do to prevent the game from starting here and ending here?
You need to chill out. If it's a big game, it's a championship game, and your team lost, you know what happens tomorrow morning? The sun comes up.
Fans at a 2011 Raiders-49ers game should have taken Moore's advice. 70 people were ejected, a dozen arrested, and 2 shot in the parking lot. But a sociological principle may explain their actions.
People will do things in a crowd they won't do on their own. It's that pack of dogs mentality. People will throw rocks and bottles as part of a crowd. You wouldn't just think of doing that on your own.
MetLife Stadium led the way for stadium security fixes after it installed a state-of-the-art megapixel video system to hold violent fans accountable at this past year's Super Bowl. But Cunningham says completely preventing fan brutality may not be possible.
I think as long as there is that sort of rabid fandom about something, I think you're always going to have those incidents.
And perhaps those setting the stage for the dog-eat-dog fan mentality are the teams themselves.
You have a organization who rely on that we, right? That we gets you to, pays the cost of admission. It gets you to continue to come to the games. So as long as though the organizations, the universities are willing to capitalize on it, well then perhaps it is indeed, we need to conceive of it as the we.
From Hamden, Jon Alba, Q30 News.